What's up? What's up? What's up, Skate fam? It's your girl, the Queen, and Dr. Joanne Fontaine here again with another episode of Wellness Wednesday. So, the doctor is in, and today we're going to talk about something that's in the news every single day that we've all been dealing with for the last, 18 months? COVID.
Yes,
COVID and roller skating.
absolutely.
So, Dr. Joanne, start us off with something good. Tell us, what is COVID?
Well, COVID, as you guys know, is a virus,
Right.
um, but it's been a devastating one that turned into a pandemic. And so basically, it's affected everything we do, every piece of our day. And I just want to be clear before I get started. I am not a medical doctor. I'm a doctor of health education. I like to educate the community on things that they can do preventatively to prevent disease and things of that nature. So I'm not going to be talking about like the immunizations, that sort of thing. So I'm going to talk about how we can prevent it while we're out and about, going to these skating events, keeping our skate family safe. And at no point in time am I going to give any recommendations about immunizations or anything of that nature because that's not my place. And I don't judge anybody for taking immunizations or not taking them. I just respect everybody. So I just want to get that off top first. And now,
And now let's talk about
dun, 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 dun.
how we can prevent being infected with COVID because the rinks are open back up. There's a lot of events
Absolutely.
going on. We just left Skateathon this weekend for everybody who was there. And I can say, because Ron and his crew came in early and they sprayed the rink, they had some kind of
Awesome.
um,
Disinfectant.
disinfectant that they use, a spray that they use that he used at his event. So he was invited there to disinfect their rinks. So the
Oh,
rinks
that was
were,
wonderful.
yeah, each day that's what they did. So that's one thing that we can do preventive. But the individual, what are some of the things the individual can do prior to coming to the rink or while you're in the rink?
One of the best things to do always that they say is wash your hands. Keep
Yes.
your hands clean. Keep them out of your nose, your mouth, your eyes, any place that it can get into your system. So do your best. I know that's kind of hard. You might get something in your eye and you want to rub it or something like that. Bring hand sanitizer with you.
Mm-hmm.
Sanitize in between everything that you do. One of the things that I see people often do is they'll eat a burger or eat some French fries, and they're not sanitizing before they touch that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Sanitize, of course, let it dry because you don't want to taste sanitizer in your food. Oh, but anyway, just make sure that your hands are clean before you go to grab something,
Mm-hmm.
and because with everything we're doing, people aren't thinking turning on a light switch. That's simple.
Yeah.
Opening the door of your car, opening the door when you're going into the roller rink,
Mm-hmm.
those things you're doing unconsciously. But get a bottle of hand sanitizer with you and clean your hands after you touch the door to the rink, or when you're putting on your skates after you put your skates on. Just
Mm-hmm.
get in the habit of sanitizing after you do everything, before you eat anything, even before you open a bottle of pop.
Mm-hmm.
Clean your hands and then open the bottle because you don't know what you're going to put into your bottle. Everybody's carrying stuff, even on your shoes. So
Yeah.
when you get home from the rink, take your shoes off before you go in the house.
Yeah.
Clean them off with some disinfectant if you're really concerned. Um, and that might sound like a little bit overkill, but right now with all the different Delta variants and this new Mu variant, and
Yeah.
then the regular COVID that's going around, just be extra cautious because I mean, people are still dying.
Yeah.
They are. I mean, it is what it is. But a lot of people are dying from underlying conditions or because they got other things. So maybe they got COVID and then maybe they're sedentary and they got pneumonia or they got
Mm-hmm.
bronchitis or,
Mm-hmm.
it's just hard to know. It's hard to know. And then some people are just randomly dying, I mean, from COVID and it's nothing. Maybe that's just the way their body is. Everybody's
Yeah.
reacting different, and nobody really knows. Nobody knows really um, why a whole family of people, one person gets it, or everybody gets it but one person, or we
Mm-hmm.
don't know, or why does this person die and this person doesn't die, and this person
Mm-hmm.
seems to have no underlying conditions. We don't really know. So
Yeah.
just be safe. Wear your mask if you can when you're skating. If you can't, I get it. But, try to social distance as much as you can. I mean, I know it's been a long time. It's 18 months or however long it's been, but be safe because you don't want to end up in the hospital or be on a ventilator or your best friend be on a ventilator, mom or dad or cousin. I mean, and it could happen. It could happen to any of us,
We've
even if
lost
you're
a lot of
vaccinated or
skaters.
not.
We've lost a
Um,
lot of skaters during COVID. So,
yeah,
and I know, we're so happy to be back into seeing each other, and we've kind of let off the fist pump and elbow pumps, and we're back to hugging and things.
hugging. Yeah,
And like you said, we really need to wear our masks, and I'm guilty of it because I be
me
having them
too.
around my
Me
neck and
too.
everything. But we really do need to wear our mask when we do embrace each other. I know we're so excited, but we have to also be safe and excited as well
Absolutely.
because we want to be around and some of the talk about some of the symptoms of COVID. Like how do you know? Because I know there's been people who come to the rink and they didn't really feel sick, but then a couple of days later they tested positive, and then they'll call people or post on Facebook, hey, I was at such
Sure.
and such a rink and I tested positive for
And
COVID.
that
So what are some
happened to me when
symptoms?
I came back. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go
Uh,
ahead, I'm done.
No, that happened to me when I came from out of town not that long ago. One of my friends called me up and said, "Hey, just wanted to let you know somebody we were around tested positive. Make sure you
Oh,
test." So I went out and tested,
mhm,
and made sure. I would say wait 5 to 7 days after exposure to get tested. Because if you test too soon, it's not
mhm.
going to be right. So
Okay.
you wanna wait at least 5 to 7 days after exposure, I can't stress that enough. So if you come back like, if you're back from skate-a-thon, it's only been 2 or 3 days, it's not long enough, you might not show up yet. It might
Okay.
take 5 to 7 days to show up, to incubate. So I would wait those days and then go get tested, because
Okay.
you might have a false negative. It might
Okay.
just not be there yet.
Yeah.
So it's very
So what
important to
so
wait.
some of the symptoms, like if you feel some of the symptoms of COVID, which are
Well, one of the telltale signs is loss of taste or smell. That's
okay.
one of the big deals.
Mhm.
Another thing to look out for is headache, sore throat,
Mhm.
um, feeling weak, lethargic,
Mhm.
tired. Fever is another one. A few more symptoms that's come about now: diarrhea, nausea, and vomiting. Those
Mm.
have started becoming more and more prevalent.
Is that with the Delta variant or some of the other
Well,
variants?
either or. I mean, people are starting to exhibit that more often. I don't know if it's the Delta variant because I'm not sure. They don't delineate really. Is this the Delta variant? Is this the mu
Okay.
variant? Is
Mhm.
this the original COVID? So I don't know for sure,
Mhm.
but I've noticed more like people are talking about nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, um, coupled with a headache. Um,
Okay.
so, and some of those symptoms are just generic for a lot of things. So
Yes.
the
Yes.
big telltale is that loss of taste or smell,
Okay.
sore throat, cough, of course. The cough is,
Mhm.
and it's pretty deep and it's real choppy and it hurts when you cough if you have COVID.
Right.
And
Oh, okay.
people get short of breath a lot. Shortness of breath is another one. So
Mhm.
those are the things to look out for. And like I said, those are symptoms that can be a lot of things.
Yeah.
So if you're having those symptoms in this pandemic, it's best to go get tested. And if
Okay.
you've been around somebody that says they were positive, wait 5 to 7 days, go get tested, And, like, I do a testing for people. We do the rapid test, which is like 80
Mhm.
some odd percent accurate, but then we also follow up with a PCR. The
Mhm.
PCR is more of like a 90 some odd percent accuracy, and it goes up a little bit further into your nose.
Mhm.
When they do that test, um, it's more of a confirmatory test. So let's say they run that little quick test. That's a good telltale, you're
So
okay.
with the rapid test, can you explain to them what the rapid test is versus
Well,
the
the
other?
rapid test just goes in the first part of your nose, just
Okay.
around the nares,
Mhm.
and it just kind of tells. It's the antigen test, and it kind of just tells if you're positive or negative. But it's only like 80. I can't even remember the exact number, like 86, 87% accurate.
Okay.
So there is a small percentage of people that could test false negative. If you test positive with that, you're definitely positive. They don't even
Okay.
run the PCR when they find out that you're positive. It just is
Okay.
what it is. But if you run negative, they follow up usually with a PCR test, which
Mhm.
is more like a 98, 99% accuracy.
And the
And they can
PCRs
say,
when they go all the way up in your brain with that Q-tip.
that's what they say, the brain tickler. So yeah, they go up a little bit further. It makes your eyes water.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's the more accurate reading. So if you test negative, they usually follow up with a PCR. And then
Okay.
there's another test that they do called an antibody testing, and that's usually with a blood sample. It can be a finger poke or a blood draw. I've done both of them on people. So if it's a finger poke, you get that result back in 20 minutes to an hour or so, depending on the company that does your testing. And it tells you if you've built up antibodies to fight off the virus. So
Okay.
as your body actually built up these antibodies. And that's what that blood test does. Same thing if you get a blood draw, it comes back in a couple of days and it lets you know if your body has built up antibodies against the virus.
Okay.
So
So
yeah.
some of the people like that have had COVID, and so when after you had COVID, then do you still take the COVID vaccination? Is
Well, here's the thing,
it
and I hate to talk. This is along those lines where I don't like to talk, but I
okay?
will say this as far as from what I'm seeing, there was a report that just came out. There was a study done in Israel, and they were showing, and this is recent, and they were showing that, and I can't go either way on this, but I because I don't want to get into all the politics behind it, but they were showing that people's natural immunity is is fairly good to fight off the virus. Not that you should run out and have a party and try to get COVID because you could die
Right.
from it. But
Okay.
if you run across COVID and you do get it, you do build up some immunity to it. What
Okay.
that study was showing was that one extra vaccinated dose on top of um, getting COVID, the like one shot
Right.
is just as effective as the two shots of not getting
Okay.
it. That was what the study shows. Not that I
Okay.
go either way with it,
Yes.
but that was just a new study that came out just to share that little bit of information.
Okay.
Everything's kind of up in the air with COVID. We can't say for
Yeah.
sure one way or the other what is what because nobody really knows. And if they say they really know, they're lying to you because nobody knows. This is new. We don't know
Yeah.
what's going on.
Hmm.
Um, so it's kind of like half a dozen of one or the other. Nobody really knows right now. What we do know is the vaccination, it appears to have helped slow down the virus
Yeah.
um, at, at the point when it initially became present. Now we're seeing breakthrough cases of Delta and Mu variant.
Hmm.
Uh, Vaccinated or not, we're seeing breakthrough cases, but we don't know at this point if there's more cases with the vaccinated or non-vaccinated. It's hard to
Hmm.
know. That's a
Yeah.
study that is yet to be determined. Nobody's.
Right.
I mean, this is all new. We don't know, and
So
so
we
right
just
now,
need to
of course,
try to
it's
do
important.
more in the prevention part because prevention is better than what they say.
And
Prevention is better than the cure.
absolutely. And I'm
Yeah.
not going to
So
talk too much about the vaccine, like should you get it, should you not get it, because it's not my place. But
yeah.
what I will say is that eat healthy, get your rest, drink water, exercise, all the same things that I always talk about to stay healthy. Do
Hmm.
that. You know, I personally take vitamin D every day. I don't. There's been some studies out that say that vitamin D helps, and there's some studies that say it doesn't. For me, I take it every day,
Well,
and it seems
we're
to
more mature. We need our vitamin D anyway.
yeah, and I'm low on vitamin D. One
Okay.
thing about vitamin D that I'll tell you, it is a fat soluble vitamin, so don't run around and just take it. Go to your
Mhm.
doctor, get tested for vitamin D level before you try to take it, because you don't
Vitamin
want
D also make you constipated, so don't nobody want to run around taking
to.
all of that.
But the thing about it is, don't just take it without your doctor.
Okay.
Really, your medical doctor, because you could become toxic. It's a fat soluble vitamin, so it's not like you pee it out of your body.
Okay.
It's not like vitamin C that you can take too much of it and then pee it out.
Right.
Vitamin D can hang out a little bit longer because it hangs out inside the fat. And so you're looking at it could build up and become toxic, and that's not safe. So
Okay.
don't just think because you heard, oh, vitamin D, don't just start popping vitamin D. Go to
Okay.
your doctor, get tested, ask your doctor. They'll
Mhm.
give you the right answer. They're still the best source. Your medical doctor is always the best source to go to.
You heard it from the doctor herself, Dr. Joanne Fontaine. So we want to just reiterate to please wear your mask, use hand sanitizer all the time as much as you can.
Wash your
Keep your
hands.
distance. Yeah, keep your distance. And let's go back to the elbow pumps. Though I love the hug, but elbow pumps.
Just try to look out for each other. Get tested.
Yes,
Make
yes,
sure that you're safe so that when you do go to the skate-a-thons or you go to the events,
yes,
that you know that you're okay or best to your ability.
yeah. And we can say that all of the event coordinators, I can say all the events
And
that
I have
I've been
allergies, you
to,
guys.
all the events that I've been to, they've really done a great
Talking too
job
much.
with having hand sanitizer out and things for you to keep yourself
Excuse
clean,
me.
the
I had
wipes or other different things, just so that you can sanitize. So I'm just so happy that they are conscious of that and trying to keep us aware. And active in trying to not infect each other. So that is a great thing. So shout out to all the event coordinators for your efforts in keeping us safe. And then
Oh,
for our
don't mock me
skaters,
like I got
I know
COVID.
she's
I don't.
coughing. She ain't got COVID, y'all. She works in it. She working there. She get
No,
tested all the time.
I get tested almost every week, or every week, almost every day sometimes.
Okay, love. So we
Excuse
are
me.
gonna sign off, and until next time, we will see you on
On
the
the
wood.
wood.